Clash of Clans is a very special mobile game. There's really nothing like it out there. Well, I mean, there are games that are like it, but none of them have even come close to being as good as Clash of Clans. I remember my first time playing it very vividly. It was 2017, I was in the 6th grade, and I was playing on this stupid tablet that barely works anymore. As soon as I opened the game, I immediately fell in love with it. I remember how excited I was to unlock the balloons and wizards, and how much fun it would be to play with them. I specifically remember going to bed one night with the image of my base in my head, and this is about what it looked like, but just imagine everything was at a Town Hall 3 level instead of a max Town Hall 16. My middle school was really stupid and didn't let us into the building until 5 minutes before classes started, even if it was raining or snowing or whatnot. The only time they let us in was if it was 32 degrees or lower, which is just fucking ridiculous, but the reason that's relevant is because me and my friends would play Clash of Clans before we went into school every day. I remember telling them how excited I was to unlock the night base and get the gem mine and how revolutionary it was going to be. We were all there for Town Hall 12's release, and every day I would check in on the top players and think about how cool it would be to one day be maxed myself. Unfortunately, by the time Town Hall 14 came out, I was getting pretty burnt out of the game, so I quit. I didn't play until my sophomore year of high school, when a group of friends and I made a clan, and I've been playing ever since. And in about 30 minutes, I'm gonna be officially maxed for the first time ever. There's something about Clash of Clans that has always been so appealing to me. Even though I don't have the childlike excitement I have for the game anymore, I still find myself just staring at my base and looking at everything just like I did when I was a kid. The biggest downside of the game, and the biggest reason people get fed up with and stop playing the game, is the upgrade times, but I've honestly never really minded them. Plus, with every Town Hall's release, they cut down all of the previous upgrade times a ton, which makes progression so much faster. The game has changed a lot over the years, and it's really changed the last couple of years because Supercell has actually doubled the size of their team. Just in case you haven't played in a while, I'm gonna bring you up to speed on the last few years of Clash of Clans with a quick recap of all of the major changes. The clan capital was added, which is a base that everyone in your clan can upgrade together and attack together. I'll go more in depth on this later. Town Hall 15 brought with it the Monolith and the Spell Towers, and these are really strong defenses that made Town Hall 15 a very difficult town hall at the time. There is also new troops and spells and all of the other stuff that comes alongside a new town hall. Builder Base 2.0 came out, which was a failed rework of the Builder Base. I'm gonna go more in depth on this later as well. There's a Goblin Builder that you can hire for gems to be a temporary 7th builder or a temporary 2nd lab upgrade. He's in the game about every other month. They've introduced different events that usually happen every month, and these come with mini passes that you can purchase just like the Gold Pass. There's also treasure chest events, which allow you to get mystery chests from attacking, and if you get lucky and get a legendary chest, you can get some pretty neat rewards. I got the Pirate King skin from one of them. Town Hall 16 shook the game to its core. Its signature defense was actually merging 2 defenses into one. You can combine 4 cannons into 2 ricochet cannons, and 4 archer towers into 2 multi-archer towers. Alongside the Root Rider, which was massively overpowered until it was just recently nerfed into the ground, Town Hall 16 introduced hero equipment, which I will again go more in depth on later, because this has been a very messy and controversial change. Top players can now supercharge their buildings, which are small upgrades that minorly increase the stats of said building. Supercharges go away when a new level for that building is released. Loot has also changed dramatically. You can get double the amount of loot that you could previously get from attacks, but you can also lose double the amount of loot, which basically cancel each other out, so I'm not really sure why the looting system was changed in the first place. And lastly, Town Hall 17 is about to be released, and it might have already been released by the time I've made this video. I'm hearing talks of a new hero, and I'm also hearing that they're going to merge the Eagle with the Town Hall. Okay, now that we're all caught up, I want to focus on the home village, the main part of the game. I honestly like mostly everything they've done with it so far. I think the supercharged levels are really good and provide much needed content for max players. For the most part, the different events we've gotten in the game have been good and allow me to progress even faster. Some of them have been lackluster, but others have been really fun and exciting. The game's quality of life updates just keep getting better and better, and they keep compounding over time. One of the newest quality of life features they've added is the tactical overview, which basically means that when you're scouting different bases and you click on a defense, all of the other defenses of that type and their range pop up. It's a really useful feature and just makes the game that much better. Even features like the Chief's Journey, which is really minor, is a great addition to the game. The Chief's Journey is a visual map that takes you through all of the different town halls and shows you what you have unlocked and what you have yet to unlock. It doesn't affect the gameplay of anything, but it's just another part of the game that makes it more cohesive and immersive. The UI changes they made to every building and troop that allows you to see exactly how they work is great, and is useful to literally everyone. There's a feature that's half quality of life and half gameplay, which is the Apprentice Builder. He works for 1 hour and works on one building at a time. At level 1, he takes an hour off of the upgrade time, and at level 8, which is the max level, he takes 8 hours off of the upgrade time. You can use him once every 24 hours. Now, I like the Apprentice Builder. I think it's a fine change and it comes in handy a lot, but it's not liked as much by a lot of people because it comes with a huge price tag, and it came out when the game wasn't in the best spot. The Apprentice Builder was released right after Town Hall 16 and the hero equipments were added, and everything was seemingly going downhill at the time. The Root Riders were ridiculously powerful and basically guaranteed anyone an instant 3-star. But the Root Riders were just half of the problem. The other half was hero equipment. Hero equipment is the new way to upgrade and customize your hero's abilities. They unlock at Town Hall 8, and you get more equipment as you upgrade the new equipment building, which is the Blacksmith. You upgrade your equipment through ores, which are earned through the star bonus in Clan Wars. I don't want to get too deep into everything that went on with the hero equipment, but I'm just going to give you the brass tacks of it all. Hero equipment started out with only common variants, but they soon started adding epic equipment that were much more powerful and much more expensive than the common equipment, and they were adding them at a rate that made it impossible for anyone not buying their event passes to keep up with. I actually bought all of the event passes, which I regret because I'm still not even close to maxing out all of my equipment, even with doing wars all the time and getting my star bonus every day. Eventually, after months of complaining, Supercell responded to all of the community pushback, and they were very transparent with everything. They explained that one of their biggest sources of revenue was from hero books, and they wanted to introduce something that could replace that revenue stream and allow them to possibly remove hero upgrade times, which is a massive problem in the game. They also explained a lot more that I'm not going to get into, but this transparency let the player base appreciate what they were trying to do. They fixed a lot of the issues, and they nerfed the Root Riders 3 times, but the hero equipment still isn't perfect. It's still just too hard to earn ores fast enough to upgrade them in a reasonable time frame. But I also think it's important to point out that this new team was going to take some time to work together smoothly and properly, and lately they seem to be going on the right trajectory. Communication was something that the Clash team, before they expanded, were really good at. They talked with the player base a lot, and it led to a strong amount of trust between them. This is also something that I think a lot of game devs could do a lot better at, because it's a really important part in keeping a strong, consistent, loyal player base. A good thing about Clash of Clans is how each different part of the game kinda talks to each other. A good example of this is with the Clan Capital. Without going into too much detail, the Clan Capital is a base where you can attack alongside your clanmates to take down different enemy capitals and districts, and you can use the gold you earn from destroying their bases to upgrade your clan's capital. The Forge was also introduced, where in it you can use the home village resources to craft capital gold. It's really only a feature meant for max players. The attacking experience in the Clan Capital is fine. It's not as fun as the home village, but it's not as miserable as the builder base. And since you can only attack 6 times per week during the raid weekend, it balances everything out. I've played the Clan Capital every week since its release, but I actually haven't played it in a long time. There's a method where you can just drop all your troops, quit the game, reload it, and then your attack just auto-completes. This works in all 3 bases, and it's really handy for getting through my raid weekend attacks super fast. At the end of a raid weekend, you get raid medals, which you can use in the trader shop for ores or magic items or loot for your home village. Because I spend less than 2 minutes a week on the Clan Capital, I'm basically getting free loot every week. And lastly, at the Capital Peak, there are houses for each member of your clan, and you can customize your own house. It's actually pretty cute. But yeah, that's the Clan Capital. It's a pretty alright feature of the game. The other parts of Clash of Clans might have their issues, but nothing comes close to being as bad as the builder base. I've relatively enjoyed playing the builder base when I've had something to do, and I'm a strong supporter of playing it until you max it, but for the most part, it's just a chore. It's hard to pinpoint exactly why the builder base is so unenjoyable. Their focus on small, tactical fun seems great in theory, but it just doesn't seem to click in practice. The new hero they introduced is the worst hero in the game. The Battlecopter is a long-range flying machine, and its ability sends it flying towards the building it's attacking and releases a giant bomb. But the ability is the complete opposite of its normal attack, so it's pretty awkward to use. Not to mention it hardly does any damage, and it doesn't even have that much health. It's just pathetic. With Builder Base 2.0, they separated the base into 2 stages, which was a part of their focus on small, tactical fun. Again, this sounds great in theory, but it really just makes the game really slow and tedious. Builder Base 2.0 also overhauled all of the troops. They all have special abilities that you can manually activate, which is actually one of the only good things about the new Builder Base. You have a lot more control over each individual troop, and it's way more satisfying than the chaotic spam we saw before the revamp. The league system is also terrible too. Every time you attack, you also take a defense, but you barely get any loot from attacking or defending, and the star bonus gives jack shit. Instead of your attacks being based on your builder hall, they're based on your league. So if you're at a lower builder hall, you will be attacking and get attacked by players much better than you. That just makes no sense, and it creates a miserable experience for people who are at a lower builder hall. I really don't have any ideas of how to fix the builder base. That's for the new mega team at Supercell to figure out. I just hope they do something with it instead of leaving it for years like they have done with Builder Hall 9 and are currently doing with Builder Hall 10. I also hope that they can make the builder base talk with the other parts of the game more, instead of it being as isolated as it currently is. The only things you really get out of it that translate are gems, or the 6 builder, or the geared up defenses. But the geared up defenses are most likely gonna be removed when they merge all of the archer towers and cannons. I just hope they do something instead of scrapping it and leaving it aside. Clash of Clans may have its faults, as every game does, but the only reason that those faults are still there is because they keep pushing the boundaries of the game. I support them adding equipment and trying all of these new things, because if they don't experiment and take risks, the game will get very stale. Staying in the status quo is exactly what makes a new Town Hall release lackluster. We saw this with Town Hall 14. Sure, we got pets, but there wasn't anything game-changing like the Royal Champion that preceded it, and the Spell Towers and Monoliths that succeeded it. We need to encourage Clash of Clans to take more risks, because that's what's gonna keep the game alive. It was kind of scary during the release of Town Hall 16, but they've proven once again that they have the player's best interest in mind, and they aren't doing things just for the money. That's why we're seeing an increased effort in them trying to monetize through cosmetics, rather than through progression, like we see with the legendary scenery. And I'm all for that. Making money through cosmetics doesn't hurt the free-to-play player at all, but locking features behind a paywall, like they started to do with hero equipment, does. They offer a lot of different sceneries to players who want to change the look of the game, and a lot of them are actually really good, and they're worth it if you can afford to spend the money on the game. They've also added skins and a scenery that you can't buy outright, and they have to be earned through Clan War League medals, which I think is really cool. I love when there's cosmetics in a game that you have to play and grind for to unlock, and you can't just buy them. It makes those items worth that much more. The game has been thriving for 12 years already, and with Town Hall 17 just around the corner, the future of Clash of Clans is looking as bright as ever. I'm happy to see that the people working on this game genuinely care about it, because it's a game I find a lot of enjoyment in, and I've literally grown up with. I mean, shit, the game came out when I was 6 years old. The fact that it's still going as strong as it is a testament to how great the game truly is. And hey, if you've made it to the end of this video, you've obviously liked it. So, hey, maybe consider subscribing. I mean, mine as well. I mean, it can't hurt. It's free.